the comp that they're running involves two. Now, Shadow, his Sova's not bad. I think maybe even push towards like he's a pretty decent Sova. I'm not convinced by Cadaverous Sky. Of all of the agents he's played, like, over the last few months, it's definitely been the weakest of the lot. And on this map in particular, the man he's up against, Russ, I think is one of the better Skies. So I think that matchup could be something that maybe decides the match. But hey, there's a lot of other factors that will come into play.
Well, that's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure then, Cadaver playing in on that agent. But I think, you know, safe, Jet in hand, got to keep an eye on this guy now. Taking a Jet on this map is not too common, right? You don't typically see teams, or rather, this is one of the maps where teams will stray away from having a Jet. We've seen it recently, depending on the comp you want to run. But starting on the attack, I think Guild have made a good call here for blitzing through that utility. Remember, with this iteration of the map as well. We're going to get that spike going down nice and early on here in the pistols. Guild just walk into the A side, really.
Yeah, more of the same of what we saw. And on the other side, I think Vitality have gone for an early push. However, though, it is going to be Russ to start things off. Playing in that close angle in the corner. Looking to try and do as much as he can. In fact, Safe's going to have to go all the way around. It might not matter, though, because his teammates are doing a lot of the damage. He's got a long way still to run. They're just defusing. It is going to play the part, and there's nothing he can do at this stage. I don't know if he meant to go into TP. I don't know if that was part of the plan. But Sender, well, highlighted by Ryan, he has popped off. 3 kills in the pistol.
That is a pretty strong start indeed. You know, I was getting a little bit worried there as well, because when you start that nade that came out after Vitality had pushed up through B, got the flank on A. Obviously, the reason Guild are able to walk on A so free, Vitality push B and play retake on A, giving them all that space and hiding inside of lamps to allow that flank to come through. And then the nade went down from Vac, but it bounced backwards and ended up hitting Brahms for quite a bit of damage, making him very easy to be taken down by a frenzy. And the round kind of came under some pretty, or it came under some pretty heavy threat at that point. But Vitality end up coming out on top of their 1-0. That's a big thing, right? The fact that Guild come in here and take these weapons, again, they're going to overrun A, but Vitality might not expect to be running into this kind of buy.
I like that. They've gone through the teleporter and split them apart, picked off that first man in Russ, who was meant to be holding onto the bathroom's control. Now this is incredibly unsafe, but they have the teleporter just to go back. There is nobody currently on the other side of the map, which would definitely make things a little bit tougher. Of course, there was a small amount of utility in order to try and slow them down, but hasn't really done anything. So we get a 3v3. The remaining players, well, at least 2 of them, do currently have some weaponry in their hands as well. And because Leo hasn't spotted anyone, he'll know where they're coming from. Oh, it's perfect!
That is such a nice snake bite. Oh my god. Well, with that one going down, we're starting to look at a little bit of a better position to play for here for Guild. It's a 2 versus 1 Sender. 31 health left. The shock dart almost catching him as he walks through this doorway. So many players left to find. He's going to use an orb, but look at the plants. It's not even for him. Oh, he thought it was going to be up close. Of course, that's where he put the snake bite down for in the first place. Yeah. And now we end up at that 1-1 scoreline. A really good fight back by Guild, and one of the rare times we see those second round forces pay off.
Yeah, it's a scenario as well where they got a few kills and they got the plant in the previous round, but also on Bind in particular, there's so many angles or battles that you can take where if there is a rifle or if there's even a bulldog, guardian, whatever you name it, the advantage kind of disappears because of how you set up into the round. And that's exactly what they did. They went for a very fast play. I also don't think that Vitality played it badly. Like the split they had through the teleporter themselves, picking off the first player. It was just that they left that B site so open, it gave Guild the opportunity to adapt.
Now at the start of this, Vitality have Sender put an orb through to defend inside of Hookah. That's going to help if Guild go towards that side of the map. At the start of the round, they don't. The pressure is clearly applied on the A side. But again, they see a lot of utility, a couple of players. They start to shift things back slowly. Make sure there's no pushes coming up on the B site. They're not getting any contact just yet. And this is where you start to think, they already know their opponents are on an eco. Nobody is pushed up. Stark contrast to the pistol round. Maybe they're just stacked up. Maybe they're waiting for you to push on in. And with 50 seconds left on the clock, eventually you've got to take space. But thankfully it's Sender that walks forward, gives Guild the opening. They're still going to try and pressure in towards Hookah, though. Oh, that was a big mistake.
One less.
I think those are the moments where you do really wish you had yourself a raise just to be able to clear some of those close angles, because a shorty versus a boombot, I'd actually bank on the boombot most times. Unfortunately, in this case, well, there's definitely other benefits to the Jet, and for Safe, he's actually only 1 orb away now from getting his Blade Storm for the next. Considering it will be a buy coming through, that's going to be a pretty big deal. And any extra kills that can come up here, well, actually, this is now looking workable. Shadow getting a kill with a classic. I don't think he's retrieved a weapon just yet, but Cadaver's got one.
This is such a risk, man. That flash coming in through mid as well. They can now start the defuse. They've got a position to cover, but Shadow's way out in the open. That is not a favorable fight at all. Halfway defuse. Kata, now they know he's not on it. There's no reason for them to even peek on in. The time is going to do all the work for them. Yeah, he cannot possibly get this. Still good damage in the end. What I will say here, Tom, I'm going to put it plain and simple. Safe almost through that round, man. He plays in a hookah versus an eco, and the whole round was played by Guild as if they're versus an eco. They were acutely aware of what they're up against. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And after finding that pick when they push up on A, maybe the thought was that, as I had said, they were stacked up at that point, and that was going to be like the whole team pushing A. But that's not how Vitality have played any of these defensive rounds so far. That's not a very common thing to play. It is a huge risk to run into hookah like that. Safe gets dropped. They retrieve a weapon. Cadaver goes on to kill someone with that weapon, and we spiral into this position where Guild only have 1 player left alive coming out of that. It seems like a quirky little kind of eccentric, oh, I'm going to push into hookah and see if I can catch some timing versus the pistols. Get some kills, get the Blade Storm. Sure, there's a risk to it. I'm farming that Blade Storm's definitely a key intention. But right there, the risk reward was just underlined clearly. That was nasty.
The other thing as well is their economy wasn't in the greatest of spots. So now they come in with an SMG themselves. And also, there's ults that have been earned up. Like going into round 4, having yourself a Viper's Pit alongside Seekers for the team that ultimately lost 2 of the 3 rounds, that is not bad. That's why they've been able to completely lock out the bathrooms, and they have a 3-man stack because of it. So Vitality have set themselves up nicely. Now on the other side, there's likely to be a combination as well with their own Seekers. I'd be surprised if they're not going to try and utilize them here to give them a chance in this round, and well, there you go.
Yep, the Seekers are going to even reveal Brahms. They should know that he's close, and indeed they do. Taking him down in the end and clearing the site, or so they think, but Shadow sneaks his way in. Luckily, he too will be detected. This will all fall by the wayside to leave a 5 versus 2. Those economy concerns we had after the previous round now start to subside, especially with the fact that, okay, Guild aren't going to hunt because they've got rifles, and they don't want to just completely tank their economy for no reason. But they have a Blade Storm. So there is an opportunity here for these guys to potentially come through, lose a weapon in one of the future rounds, and still have that little bit of an extra bolstered down economy. Cole Dementa came in playing with a Spectre. He's got a free upgrade. I mean, this has been a remarkable round for the attackers. And then add to that what we've been seeing this whole time, which is that Vac and Sender, yes, they will save weapons, but it's inside a Viper's Pit. That is now removed from the round, and having that out of the way so early in the game for 0 impact, hell yeah, you'll let them save 2 weapons for that.
But that's the thing, that yeah, the Seekers went through as well for the defenders, so they knew the push was coming. I think the timing of everything was just a little bit better. Like they had themselves the Cosmic Divide go through, place that down, and then use that to isolate some angles, so that then when they put the Seekers through, they only have to go for the players who realistically can do them any damage. And that's just a nice take. Of course, everything that comes with it, some decent entries along the way, not losing a single player is also very impressive, walking into a 3-man stack, even with Seekers. So yeah, Guild, after what was a little bit of a shaky round, now come back swinging, and well, the purchase coming up for Vitality, not going to be fantastic. Mostly pistols, a couple of rifles alongside it, still something that Guild have to be wary of. And while you can see they've set up early in a default, they've got a lot of utility giving them information as well.
This is the kind of buy you want to be cautious of, but not scared of, right? You still want to take space. You still want to fight for those orbs as well. You don't want to let them have that free control, which is why we're seeing bathrooms so heavily skirmished for. Cat is able to at least pick up 1. Now, with that, the fact, look at where the spike is. It had to be Trex to go back and get that, which means that weapon is freely available inside of Bath, and they're about to notice that.
They didn't see him go past. Like, the screen was down as well. Now, they'd have the idea when the screen was up that maybe he could have snuck his way through. But he's hearing the footsteps of the rotations because of the drone. The drone's been thrown in on long just to try and bait them out. And now... Shadow just baited the steps. He just tried to run just to try and trick him into peeking. They know he's there, and they might even spot the spike, which is now trying to sneak its way through the site.
And he's called for that rotation early, having already spotted safe. So Cat is here to clear this out with him. Recon confirms they've got control over it. And there's the Viper's Pit active. Look who's coming around the side. It's safe to catch Cat off. Why does he go back in for that control through the Viper's sword? I don't know. But it works out, completely catching them off guard, and Shadow is left in a 1v4, playing back into a Viper's Pit as well, having to get that defuse, and he's got 27 HP. The odds are definitely stacked against him on this one, I think it's fair to say. Even getting out with a rifle will be tough. I think he seems to be thinking about just doing damage.
This is a round that I think I could watch back like 15 times and there would just be like a load of different things that we saw, because that was all about mind games. Like, firstly, we saw the sort of drone thrown in on B to try and bait rotations, which it did. Then Shadow used the steps to bait out the peak of the other side. Then moments later, Trex baits the plant and Cadavra goes to try and kill him while he's planting, even though he wasn't anymore. Like, it's just, those are micro plays. Those are tiny little things that both teams are doing within the same round to try and bait the other into making a mistake, and it works out for Guild in the end with Cadavra being the one to go down. But I feel like there were multiple moments where either team could have won that round just based off their own intelligence.
This is going to be a heavy fight right at the start. That recon doesn't catch the players. You're going to have a grab well as they try to spam them on down. What's the decision here for Vitality? Crossing back over is risky, but that smoke is going to disappear eventually. Now they do still have all their stars, and Bram's on the other side of the map, so he can call for this any time. And they'll be just fine. It looks like Vitality really want them to push up so they can put a grav well down, but but Guild is scared of it. They see that star, they know there could be players either side, they don't want to mess with it. Instead, they'll use their drone to fight for hookah. I like this adaptation, right? They see that this is a little bit sketchy. Let's just clear out the control with the drone and then reset into the round. They're playing it patiently.
Crossback from Shadow, and now they're going to get aggressive. They're just waiting for this. It's so smart from Guild. They expected that push to eventually come through, not seeing anybody fighting for any sort of hookah control, so they guessed where the other players are going to be, and now they're even looking to try and fight back in that direction, but Vitality still have no idea. They've not gone pushing forward. They've not taken any control out of hookah just yet.
30 seconds left.
If anything, because of the push through on the other side, they're finally going to realize that this is going to be a B hit, but I think it's going to be too late.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the clock is going to be against them on this one. Unless Shadow's able to mow them down on the cross. This recon's already gone through, and it hasn't even found a tag as they just cross on over. 10 seconds left as the plant goes down. The shots would have to be gorgeous because he's inside the tube. Nice and safe, nice and secure. Time not going to be a problem for Guild now, but they have lost Trex. And with that, look at Center. He's caught Coldamenta. He's actually cleared the angle. The Hunter's Fury going straight down through the tunnel. It's free as can be. Safe. Good for one, but he has to find three. One up in. Hookah still will be caught on the way out. Safe. Looking to clutch this now in the 1v1. Still with a dash online. And a headshot to close it. A 1v3 for Safe. Guild just will not let Vitality into this map.
He's just better. He predicted every single play they were going to make. Every single positioning of his crosshair in that round, in that clutch, was perfect. He was waiting for every swing. First player there, he knows the second player is going to try and jump out. He's waiting for that as well, and then just holds exactly where the last man is. If that happened in your matchmaking game, you would have reported him for wall hacking.
100%. But a big thing there is the information his teammates were giving him in that moment. The comms must have been clean because he was not panicked. He was not lost. He knew exactly what was happening every step of the way. Incredible gameplay by Guild right there to put 5-1 on the board, and now they're against Pistols. 6 should be secured. But Vitality are going to try something a little bit nasty. Playing for orbs on either side in a way, but they're not taking them. They're playing for the orbs in such a way that they're wanting Guild to take them, to push up and try to seize that control, at which point the Pistols can then fight back. And that Cloudburst feels like it was Safe trying to check if they were left side, like he was trying to bait them out into peeking to get that little bit of information. Guild are being super cautious right now. This is exactly what I want to see versus Pistols. Now they want to group and push into the site together. And with the util they've been using on B, Tom, look at this. There's already a rotate going over there. So the A side is ripe for the taking. This is gorgeous.
And the thing is, I feel like Vitality already did this in one of the previous rounds, especially the other side of the map. It does, however, give them a very quick rotation, and while it's going to have to be a turnaround, Russ, again, he's completely trapped, and he gets Canna while he's completely blind. That's gross. Now he's being flanked again, but he's switched his positioning to just hold for this. Oh, that's going to be infuriating. Again, like, they basically made that play to try and isolate a player like Russ, and just a little bit of luck goes a long way. Those are some nice shots, though, from Brams. Like,
yeah,
I will say there's not really much need to kill him because he doesn't have any guns. He's just got a pistol. But it seems like Guild don't care at this point.
Yeah, I think they're past the point of caring for sure. I kind of want to see Brams. Yeah, look, he's baiting them in. He's got a rifle. He's not going to get anything else out of that. I've wanted to see him do pretty much the same, right? Tap that spike and go for the headshots, try to close in the distance. I didn't notice he'd actually managed to retrieve a Phantom along the way.
Yeah,
so
just at the end.
And he had some good chance, a good opportunity.
That's 6-1, though. This is a good attack from Guild. I'm enjoying a lot of what I'm seeing. Like, I think they've got a lot of good like bait plays. I don't think any of the traps that have been set by Vitality have really been catching them off guard, which is a very good sign for an attacking side of this map. And again, I'm sort of waiting to see a response. Now, Vac coming in on the operator, that's likely to lock down a lot of control over onto A. I don't really feel like the A site has been their issue, though.
The thing is, it doesn't even feel like sights have been their issue more so. Perhaps he's gone through the smoke and blinded up at the last second. Russ is able to get the kill. I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. That's actually absurd.
Getting owned by the squid.
Oh, he did everything right, man. That was like his utility, his timing, everything about it was so good. And then the Seeker just hits him. Oh, he's never going to forget that. That's going to haunt him for years, I guarantee it.
How did you lose that round, Grandad? I lost it to a squid.
Oh, man. My heart actually just broke for him. It was such a big play. That would have just completely destroyed them. You take Russ, you've got a player on long to worry about. There were still players on site who could crossfire.
Do you want to know the most annoying thing?
What's that?
If they managed to catch Russ last round when he got, what was it, 3 or 4 kills, he wouldn't have even had the Seekers in the first place. Oh, you're right. It really is, you know, a butterfly flaps his wings across the Atlantic. It's just a tsunami hitting Vitality. They don't know what's going on. They've done everything right, and they just get ruined 7-1. Jeez.
I've got your trail.
Oh, I died. No. I hate it. Oh, it hurts my heart so much.
The thing is, I think Sender also died because of the Seekers. Like, because he couldn't not shoot it. And by that point, he then gets traded out. So, wow, the power of Seekers. It's always been one of the better ults in this game. And well, speaking of it, Kadabra has his online. Now, I'll be honest. I feel like Vac has had his showstopper for a long time. Like, I feel like it's like 3 or 4 rounds at this point. Also, his operator has had seemingly no impact because they just haven't really gone in that direction. I want to see him getting a little bit more proactive with it, because I don't think the bathrooms fight that he's been taking has been one that is worthwhile, because other than Russ lurking in that direction, there's not really been many plays from the Guild playbook that have utilized the bathroom. Now, maybe he's just waiting for the like 1 in 7 or 8 that it finally comes, but I feel like there's so many more positions, especially on that B side. Maybe take a fight to B long, or even just peeking into hookah, that he could be impactful. Because we know what Vac can do. We've seen it for well over a year now, or maybe not well over a year, but over a year now, of how good this guy is.
He talked about how little the bathroom play has come in. So bathrooms is going to be pushed this round by Guild.
There we go.
This is the 3 players.
This is the one. Oh,
There's
no.
the recon down. Back, gonna be stunned up, and now he's in trouble because they've seen him showstopper pop. This is just delay strategy. He just wants to keep them back. Shock darts are coming on through, and he'll get out of there with his life. The showstopper ultimately serves no purpose, and now he's on 50 health with Sender drop behind him. He has to try to open up a little bit of space with this op. They're about to crunch in on him now. He's even vulnerable as well. The op in hand waiting. Oh my God, Back It's just being played by Safe. A classic takes him down. And 5v3 we stand. Vitality desperate for a round. My God, they just can't get anything. But Shadow, this could be it. No, I don't think it will be. 46 health remaining. This round is well and truly done.
Have you
Utterly
seen that
insane
clip?
round.
Have you seen that clip of Simple playing Valorant, where it's just him on Icebox, and just like a million pieces of utility, like flash goes past, it's like the tiger goes past, like, what is that? And then he just like, he's blind for like 15 minutes and then dies. That was Vac in that round. Like, he got hit by shock darts, he got hit by a drone, or he had to shoot the drone. The wolf went through as well. He then gets dashed. Like, he got hit by a snake bite, but he clipped it as he went past. Like, even a dart went through at the beginning, which would have scanned him if it wasn't for his teammate. That's like 7 pieces of utility that were used to kill him.
Ridiculous. And then there's
Shadow's
like
now
4
offing
people
as well,
peeking.
just so you know.
Standard practice, yeah.
It's like, you're cursed, so I'm gonna take it.
Look at Vac's little picture, right? You see his little player picture
Look
down
at
the bottom?
Kadabra.
Why is he here? Yeah, for a second I looked at his camera and I was like, what about him? That is
No.
Kadabra. I was like, yeah, yes. Well done, Tom. He's going to be caught. The second player here, though, Brams, good for the trade. He's going to back off, play this patient. The real fight, though, had to kick off on A right inside a bathroom.
This time they've actually got the setup as well. 3 players within the site. You can see that operator up above just ready watching. Although it was, it's actually rotated through. Sender's going to win the fight. A decent cosmic divide to make those battles a little bit more awkward. And well, this is looking a lot better for Vitality. Finally winning out some of these duels. And well, I think Russ has realized this round is maybe gone. So just going to try and retrieve a couple of ultimate orbs, get those Seekers back. Because we've seen already multiple rounds won by that ult alone.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're sitting economy-wise on exact numbers, but I'll say strong.
Last player
Guild.
standing.
Not going to be too worried about losing those rifles. Definitely worth trying to farm up towards the ultimates, and Leo with his Hunter's Fury online. They've got another one to play with as well, but it's definitely not been the deciding point of any guild rounds. Ultimates haven't necessarily come into it. For Vitality, this has just been a quiet play. Now, Vac again going to be taking this rifle. I want to see where he takes it.
He's having a rough one, and so is Kadabra, and that's the thing that I was talking about. Like, we've seen Russ's ultimate have so much impact throughout this game. We've seen Safe absolutely popping off, and the players that we sort of highlighted, like that Vac versus Safe, that Kadabra versus Russ, they've only been going in one direction so far. Now, obviously, that's something that can change throughout the map. That 8-2 on the attacking side is an incredibly good half already. So I am starting to really worry if Vitality have enough in the tank to turn this around.
It's a big demand, that's for sure. And when we talk about Breeze previously and how you can easily see those flips going through, it is very difficult to imagine that Bind is going to be an entirely different game. And especially because, as we mentioned, it's not necessarily the holds themselves that have been the problem. When Guild come into a fight, it seems like they are outskilling their opponents when it comes to the duels themselves in how they're setting themselves up. It feels like they come more prepared. They're moving, basically identifying what Vitality are doing. They're not falling into any of these traps, as we were saying earlier. Those eco rounds are dealt with perfectly. It feels like when they actually enter into a site, nobody gets a 1v1 fight. Nobody gets to catch you off guard or hide in the corner and get that big 2k or 3k that shuts it down. No, it feels like for Vitality, they don't win that initial fight. Heads up duels that Guild are willingly taking and using their utility to give themselves an advantage in. They don't win that, round's over. They have to play a 5v2 retake. It's just, they're getting dominated in a lot of these rounds. Oh, but as I say about a player hiding in a corner, getting that big 2 or 3k, here comes Brams. If they check for this, I think it's safe to say that Guild's brains are just too big, but they've been caught only for the one.
Yeah, Vac regressed as well, managed to catch out Russ, finally winning that Bathroom's duel, and with the Viper's Pit currently down over on B long, they can pretty much guess that there's only going to be 1 player or 2 players max around this area, so they're going to try and play through it. it definitely has its risks about it. And Shadow's going to rotate in with his operator. Now, it's not going to be hugely valuable unless he's going to go through the smoke that's currently down. And, well, that has a risk in its own.
Leo has already taken the first, and he somehow drop shots. Get the hell out of here. What's going on here? So who we got? Okay, Vac is still alive, so I guess maybe a nade comes in, something like that. It makes a lot of sense for Leo to just not risk it. Yeah, with the 33 HP and a Hunter's Fury, he doesn't want to be throwing that round away. And although they do a lot of damage, 30 HP on both of these remaining players. One of them is Trex, who's oh no, he's been caught! He was trying to bounce his way out. Kadavra getting his health back up now. The Hunter's Fury won't take him down in just the one burst, and he's already halfway defused on this. Leo's gonna hurry up. He's gonna get it all the way. Cannon just sneaks it out underneath his nose. Pros don't fake, and Vitality find a third. Oh God, how have they won that?
Yeah, either Leo was somehow too far away that he didn't hear it get tapped, or it's just one of those things where he's just like, there's no way he's going to stick this all the way. It was a long rotation coming through, and I think he really needed Trex to stay alive, and just being caught in this moment. Like, look at where he currently is. I just wonder if it was stuck before he hears anything.
I heard it. He heard it. I just heard it on his POV. I think he just assumed there's no way this guy sticks it. Why would he? The Psycho. A cat is actually crazy for sitting down. Look at the angle he stuck it on as well. He was almost expecting him to peek out from long. He's giving himself the he was wide. Like that was such a huge risk, but a calculated one from Kata that's paid off perfectly. And I cannot stress enough, Vitality needed that third round, and Kata's just pulled it out with an incredible play. Didn't even need to really kill anyone. Just the 30 HP player bouncing out of the site. Gorgeous.
I'm getting flashbacks to the previous map where it was looking almost done, and then just Vitality just managed to just get those last few rounds. Now the Seekers have been great so far. They've actually been stuck by the gravity well, at least for the moment, and that slows down the entire push. They're going to double back because not many of them went in the other direction, and you can see the Seekers incredibly confused, but because one has been destroyed, they might not expect Vac to still be here. He's going to line up a couple, finally stepping up to the plate and putting a couple on the board. There's still another for him to deal with, and Coldamenta will at least put him in the grave.
With Safe shutting down Shadow, now they need a big return. The Hunter's Fury goes out searching for a couple of players, and although Kato ends up on 70 HP, there'll be no taking him down just yet. 2 versus 3. These players
out of charges.
As of yet unknown, but Leo's about to reveal himself. They know exactly where he is now. That reveal not going to do all too much for him, and he's being pushed from behind. 1 versus 1, but Sender catches him. Just making it around before I think Leo would have swung to check it. A defuse for Vitality, a 4th round on the board, and a team that thus far hadn't even showed up to the server now look like they actually have a chance coming into half 2, Tom. Flashbacks to the previous map, indeed. This is incredible.
Yeah, I'm liking the sort of resilience or like the mental fortitude of Vitality, that they're going this far down, and then in the last few rounds they're still just able to bring themselves back into things and still have these like more aggressive plays, like take these fights, like have players like almost making these cheeky risks, because that's what they did there, like sending a player through the teleport to get the Seeker away and then having the last one there just remaining. Like that's a big risk in a round like this, but they still had the confidence in Vac, even though he's had a quieter performance so far. So 8-4, it's not a death sentence, but I definitely think we're going to need a pistol for Vitality if they're going to turn this around.
I think I'd have to be with you on that. At 8-4 down, it's so difficult to jump your way right back into it. Still, I'm sure someone will point to the fact that they essentially did it on Breeze, right? When Guild won the pistol, but that was Breeze attack side. Yeah. Very, very different reality to what we're facing here. Coming into this, Vitality, you're playing super fast. They've gone up in through Hookah, and they're now looking to push there as 4, but the problem is the one guy who's alone is Brahms, and he gets shut down. The site control now completely in the hands of Vitality, though, so it's a trade-off, I suppose.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for a bit more of an awkward plant, though, because they can't go for default because they don't have any long control, so they have to try and plant for the spawn, and they don't have that control either, or at least for now. Coldamenta's still waiting, and he's only going to get 1. That's an important clear. The trade out of players is definitely worth it for Vitality.
Enemy mark.
with low HP on a lot of these guild guys, and now they're stuck on long. This is looking like the pistol that Vitality needed has been secured. Nice and easy to finish off these last remaining players, and there it is. A 5th found, and Vitality may actually be in this map.
Yeah, good mid-round. I think especially realizing that they'd lost long to re-aggress towards the spawn just to clear it out and give yourself a decent afterplant was so important. If either of those players manage to survive, this retake is completely different because they're having to split where they're watching the entire time. Instead, because they have these angles, you can see it's much more confident in the way that they're pushing and way they're holding in that direction. So well done for Vitality for just having that mid-round, and, well, 4 rounds in a row for them. A pistol on the board, and this time, well, with no plant, obviously, because they're defenders, it's not going to be an investment from Guild.
Oh, the nade to the right side, the player's running out. Maybe they don't suspect the left play, but never mind. They absolutely do. Russ and Safe both go down, and they are just farming on the side of the attackers. Losing just the 1 player is fine. They now know where Trex is, and if they don't lose any more, this will be a very good start to the half for them.
Yeah, and also with how many kills we've seen come out from both Vac and Kata, they're getting closer to those couple of ultimates that you desperately want to have in your bonus round. Like, if you can get yourself a Seekers, you are over the moon, because that's one of the ultimates that can really help you shut down the distance when you're coming against those rifles. And Kata, well, I was about to say he should be 1 orb away, but it's actually going to be 2 because Shadow steals that kill.
Nasty stuff. Where's the teamwork, huh? Where's the sense of team spirit? And sometimes it's better to just close those rounds out. Defensive side, 8-6. Guild won't be too worried just yet. Letting the pistol slip is what it is. And interestingly, looking at the timeline, you know, when you look at Vitality's rounds, it won that pistol, lost right afterwards. If they don't lose that second round, but when Guild force bought second round, if Vitality won that round, they would be in a very, very different game right now. This is looking, I feel like the playing field has been leveled, essentially. And this is a round where we'll be well and truly scrapping for it. Vitality playing on those weaker weapons, trying to bridge the gap now. And it looks like the A side is where they want this fight to take place.
Must be a little bit uncomfortable with being that far forward with that low health, but they should be able to get themselves an afterplant here if they're willing to go for it. That's the thing with all of the utility dropping, him going back to actually get healed back up. This gives a bit of extra space for Guild to get back into the site before they go for any sort of plant.
They're staying around here for a long time, you know, like... It's really shocking me that it's 45 seconds left when the plant goes down. I feel like they've been here for 30, and the shock dart, because of those rotates having come in, that utility is so much more accessible. Why is Safe up here? How is he up here? Does Center have an idea? He might have heard it. Seemed almost like he was ready for it. There's movement behind that wall, but in the end, he'll be leaving. He'll be moving a little bit deeper away, and if he has now been spotted, things get dangerous. Yeah, he's bailing on out of there. This snake bite. Feel like he's overstayed his welcome a little bit. Skirmishing behind this wall. We talked about time earlier on. There's only 15 seconds left, and the spike is again being dropped. Time to attempt it again for Vitality. The time, and they have to just do it now. This has to be huge by Brams, and he's actually holding the front line, allowing the spike plant to go down. That is incredible. I thought that their backs against the wall, backed into a corner. I didn't think they'd have any chance, but now they've got a 2v3.
Almost a little bit more. Shadow leaving a player low. Brams needs this duel, and he's gonna take another. And look at Sender. He's got the timing almost perfect. Just wrapping back around. Brams is gonna peek, but he's almost just buying time for that last man to come through. Instead, though, it looks like he's going for the lineups. It won't even matter because you've just got Brams popping off in a round where Vitality need it. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mitch. There should have been no way that Vitality managed to come back in that round, but Brams just pulls out an utter hero play.
Man, they stood on that side for what felt like the better part of a minute and just tanked. Utility coming in, lost 2 spike planters with 10 seconds left. They took some steps towards the site to get that plant down, and it was Brams in that moment to run forward into his opponents that were charging back into the site to stop this plant, and he takes them down with a Spectre. A hero play from Brams. and a 4K in the end of the day. With weak weapons, Spectre, and he ends up finishing him with a Sheriff, I'm pretty sure. 8-7. Looking at every single round vitality of one man and how they fought their way back into this one, this is a weird reality, but one that I'm more than happy to stay in.
Yeah, it's also a round as well that, again, like if there was any doubt in Vitality's mind that they could bring it back, when Brams just comes up and gets a 4K with a Spectre, I think you start to believe that you can win the game at that point. And, well, sending Guild back down to pistols, we know that they have had these incredibly cheesy plays in the past. In fact, I think Safe thought he could get past that one. Instead, he's actually going to get caught.
Smacked by it, absolutely. Attempt by Trex. This is going to be tough. Oh my god, he just keeps going out. He just keeps swinging on that angle. Not afraid of any of the bullets whizzing towards him. And in fact, yeah, he's bought his team quite a bit of time between the shock darts, snake bites, grab wells, everything going down. That's stopping Vitality from pushing up. But when they do, they have the rifles. And these pistols, they just don't stand a chance.
Last player
Getting
standing.
absolutely mowed down, shredded, and there's not going to be a single frag. That was a 4-man stack on A. Every single member of Guild ended up there as their push came in. I was just thinking, if they go through the TP, this is the easiest round ever. Well, they'll get all the kills anyway, earn up those ultimate orbs, and keep all of their rifles. Vitality are going to be in an excellent spot financially after that one. And now, well, we have to see something from Guild. No response over the last few rounds. And this is where there's a chance for Vitality to take the lead after what was an 8-1 lead for Guild. Bear that in mind.
It's actually mind-boggling. Again, looking at some of the rounds, you know, if I looked at that in the timeline, I'd be like, oh, that looks confusing. And then I watch the rounds, I'm like, oh, I'm even more confused now. Cool. It's Vitality have really fought their way back into some rounds. Consistently fought their way back into rounds, I would say. Blowing my mind in the process.
No stopper. It's going to be online. We haven't really seen it utilized too much, other than the single round where he gets caught in a corner and just owned by it. So it's just going to be an early setup to try and claim that, and then the rest of the rounds reset. Now you can still see a little bit of a jiggle peek from Russ, just trying to spot information, and the Tiger, I believe, will have actually seen one player. Safe, though, has just decimated Vac, and now Trex has killed off Brams on the other side.
But Safe, attempting to leave his safe spot, has been caught. Kata doing a damn good job of buying Vitality an opportunity still, though. They're a man behind as they play on in towards Lamps, hoping to catch a player off guard, but they cannot do so. And now they have to go, presumably attempt at plant, where they can be spammed. The grab well down to discourage them. 30 seconds on the clock. This is all going to be posturing as these players attempt to drag out the utility of their opponents. And more importantly, they want to be peaked right now. They want a defender to swing on in. They'll get the plant in the end, securing it completely, putting up their orbs, but that's when the flank comes through from Russ, and he takes a quick double, leaving Shadow. Do practically nothing in this. I mean, the time definitely against him. They know exactly where he is and where he's moving. As he steps around the corner, Trex quickly deals with him, giving Guild their first round in quite a long time.
Yeah, a couple of opening duels definitely made that one quite difficult for Vitality to really do anything. And again, I feel like Guild, even in the round that they lost earlier, the bonus round, they're very, very good at just delaying. That's all they've really been doing on this A site, is just having these grab wells, having like shock darts, flashes, and then that delay in this round basically just comes through with Russ killing everyone from behind, because they're so focused on trying to get that spike down that, well, Russ is just left to do whatever he wants. And that's a bit of a worry for Vitality if they're unable to sort of speed things up. I will say, though, going into this round, there are a hell of a lot of ults online for both teams.
This could definitely be a chaotic round. That is for damn sure. And Vitality are setting their sights on the B side. Safe, wanting to get aggressive. Operator in hand. Oh, the timing on that as well, just as Astra goes into her Cosmic Divide, but Safe still hasn't peeked around the corner, only now rounding it. There it is. Brams goes down, and now we'll move towards the side itself. The Showstopper not even fired off in time. But that Viper's Pit might just secure it for Vitality. A huge advantage. Desperately trying to find a kill here with the Hunter's Fury, but it'll land nothing.
Yeah, they do have the Seekers, though. And that's going to be one of the scariest ults you can have while you're in a Viper's pit. Because if you get hit by it, your position is revealed. Most of the players doing quite well, but Russ straight in there managing to clear one out. Sender has also had to leave his Viper's pit, so if he's there for too long, it will dissipate, although that may end up being an advantage. Shadow catches out Trex as he pushes as well, and it's just trading back and forth. A 3 versus 2 in the favor for now, but Vac, he springs his trap straight out the back. Coldamenta going through with the judge, though, will drop him, and now it's left all on to Sender, and he will be caught as well. The only problem could be the time, but there is plenty of it available for Guild. A lot of ults used. Well done to our observers there for trying to switch between everything. Guild are going to get their 10.
Yeah, a truly mad round from the observer perspective, but we got to follow it nicely as Guild hit double digits. A chaotic one, for sure. And I believe Trex did use the Viper's Pit there, right?
I think he might have used, yeah, a counter one to theirs, and then because I think we saw it drop in the middle.
I thought I did, yeah. We'll see as it comes out just to double check, but yeah, he did. Okay. So, getting the round win now. Makes that much easier pill to swallow. Not having that coming into the next. Up he goes again. Safe now in trouble. He's just going to get out of there.
Only just. He's only he got 42 HP.
Oh my god.
A little bit of judge on judge. This Coldamenta's gonna wrap back around and kill off Vac. It's not something you say too often, but when you're on bind, it's something we've come to expect. And Safe, even while low on HP, is going to go back for the re-aggression. There are still 3 players within this B site. It's a 3-on-3 as they try and enter.
I think they might have spotted Safe. Or Russ, sorry, but apparently not, because he's able to just side-swipe for a triple. That drone was destroyed just as it came around. I thought it would have seen him, but he must have been safe by just a pixel for them to let him decimate them like that. 11-8. Now in favor of Guild. Already 1-0 in the series, Tom, and this is where I start to get a little bit worried for Vitality. They put those streak of incredible rounds together. But, you know, if they go down 2-0 in this, it's the previous map was whatever. This one here, Guild are now looking to be back in control of the game. I get very scared. And I think that's why we're seeing a timeout called by Vitality. They know the gravity of both this map, but more importantly, this round.
Yeah, I think they've got some decent ults as well, so there can definitely be a plan here. I want to add in, I think, like, we talk about the skies of the world. I think that Shados is always someone that's put in that bracket. I think you could put Starzo in there as well when he was playing it. But I think Russ is quickly rising near the top of that list of how he's actually played it today. Because I think that the fact that he's been so good at just managing when to use the Seekers, I think his pop flashes have been great, the information he's found as well. And I'm thoroughly enjoying him in this Guild squad from what we've seen so far. And Guild in general, like to make all of those changes, to put all the work in that we've seen, they're looking decent. And then these, as we sort of said on the desk, these are the 2 teams that I think that we're now expecting to make the run through. Like, even if they drop, well, whoever drops down into that lower match, I think will definitely be favored going in. So I think that this is one of those games where we're almost witnessing who's likely to be one of the challengers to those top teams. And at the moment, Guild is taking the biscuit.
Yep, they most definitely are. Not in this fight. Oh, Safe has been dropped immediately. Brams showing up yet again. It's on the Guardian this time. Rex gets tagged up on his way through, down to just 79 health. Coldamenta dropped through the smoke. The judge punished. He was trying to play a shallower version of Vanity. And Vanity did the same thing, but he would put the star.
Are you saying Vanity shallow? That's not very nice.
Yeah. And apparently I'm saying Coldamenta's even shallower. So there you go.
So toxic, Mitch. God.
I know, yeah.
Next you're going to be calling out coaches.
Me? No. No, that would never happen. 11-8, Guild can lose this round. It's not going to be the end of the world for them, but it's been an impressive amount of duels for Vitality. They spread out, they take those individual fights, and they win every single one. They catch Guild's aggression. Now this defensive side faces a pretty big task. No ultis to play with. This op on the retake as well. I'm not really feeling it for Trex. He's about to be pushed on and eliminated. Brams slapping him in the face with his barrel first. Oh my god, Leo! He doesn't win this. Surely he does. 1v3.
He knows there's a player in the close corner. He knows where every single player is right now. He knows the Shadow's close. He saw the other player afar, and Sender's been firing in utility. Brams, this is an easy kill. Like, for a man who has played Jet for a long time on that op, he's never going to miss that one. So, Vitality, they get their 9th. Okay, there was a little bit of worry with what Leo was just trying to achieve in those last few moments, but that was a good round from them. And yeah, they caught every single piece of aggression. That's the thing. Like, Russ has now flanked them so many times that if they didn't eventually cotton on to what he was doing, I think we would have had some serious problems. But this was much better from them. And like, hey, if you're gonna win a duel versus an op with a Guardian, fair play.
Yeah, you can't rely on that every single round, I'm sure, but that's why Brams has now gone for the op, the attack side op on an Astra. I'm interested. Let's see how that one pans out. Safe, going for a little bit of an attack of his own, pushing on down middle and eliminating back, bailing out of there as well. And I like this, you know, Guild find that opening duel. They don't overstay their welcome. They don't look for flashy plays. No, they are out of there. They're going to let you make a mistake now. Vitality have to make the next step. And their ace up their sleeve of the operator on Brams has now even been spotted. What? Russ knew he had it up. They saw it in the drone. Now they definitely know. Seeker's online for Russ as well. They're going to just use the smoke to cross back over. But these were some big risks taken here.
Yeah, this doesn't even need the orb, so it's not fighting for that. Just almost looking to try and battle versus his opposition. Now, they can actually play without information into the late round because, well, both teams, in fact, they have the Seekers available to them. I almost wonder, I was going to say if this would just wait to be counted and use it on the other side, but they now can pull in those rotations. I imagine Kata will do something similar.
30 seconds left.
Well, as you heard, 30 seconds are left on the clock, and Vitality have to make a move now. There's almost no time to switch up directions. Cosmic Divide committed, and here's the push. Gravwell slows them. Leo and Safe showing up for a double. Hunter's Fury not doing what it needs to, because with 12 seconds left, Shadow's all alone, and he has no chance of getting out of here with a win at least. Let's see if he can even get out alive, running towards the bathroom. Try and save this operator, but they know what he's got.
He gets the orb at the end, which is going to be Hunter's Fury for Leo in the last round. That couldn't have gone any better for Guild. They had the right read, gravity well timing from Coldamenta. It was just a chef's kiss. It was beautiful. Like, just denied them as they tried to push through, made it impossible for anybody getting into the side. I was expecting there to be Seekers there, if I'm honest. Like, a Seeker combination with the Hunter's Fury, I think there's a way that they win that round. Instead, trying to go through blind, I don't know. I don't think there's any way that this works out.
One enemy remains.
I mean, not consistently, no. That's the thing. You are very much asking Lady look for a hand, and when she doesn't turn up, you're in a lot of trouble. As we're seeing now, 12-9. Map number 2 of a BO5, but the first 2 looking to go to Guild. 3 attempts to close it out. And then they'll have 3 attempts to close out the series. So that's
died from that. 14 HP for Shadow. Like, they can heal him back up to 100, so it's not the end of the world. Same for Brams, but yeah, that was almost a very lucky spray coming out from Trex that could have taken down a couple of players. They are slowly building into what looks like an A-side take. Again, they're still watching to see if Russ is flanking. That's in the back of the heads of Vitality players at this stage. They need someone to entry for them, and it seems they're hoping it's Brams.
50 seconds left. They're going to have to force them pretty quickly. Is this control? I mean, just look at where these guys are. 40 seconds now on the clock. They are still in their spawn, essentially. Vitality really wanted Guild to make a mistake and step out of line here, but now they're realizing you got to put it all on the table here and now. See what you can get done. Hunter's Fury blindly deployed, but they knew they were coming through mid. The Gravwell caught Vac. He's down to 70 HP. Shadow barely holding on 20. That heal not coming through, sadly. With Cadaver now gone and everybody else following, it's left to Brams trying to clutch this out with the off, but he will not get it done either. And 13-9 will close this one out. An incredible game from Guild so far, Tom. They have definitely looked like the best team. Now 2-0 in this BO5. Vitality have very little hope of making this reverse sweep happen. This feels tough.
Yeah, I've definitely been impressed with what I've seen from Guild. I think Safe and Leo, it's basically as normal, like what we kind of expected it to be there.
Yeah.
And it kind of rung true to what I said at the beginning of the map. Like, I think Cad as Initiator, definitely not as best as the other agents we see throughout his pool. So I'm expecting him to come back strong on the next map. And I think it's going to be Split, which is the map so far that Guild have been banning. So, hey, that's going to be something at least.
So an opportunity maybe is now
Yes.
Split comes up, we end up with Guild on the back foot. Maybe the first map for their opponents of Vitality in this series. We'll see, though. We're going to go to a break for now, folks. Join us in a couple minutes with the Analyst Desk. We'll be right back after this.